October 2015. A biting autumn chill settles over Washington, D.C., a city woven tightly from political secrets and intelligence networks. Deep inside one of the world's most heavily fortified government offices, a personal phone begins to vibrate. The screen displays an unknown number. Strict protocols dictate ignoring it, but a strange gut feeling pushes the target to press accept. From the other end comes a voice. "You don't know me, but I own you now." This is the personal line of John Brennan, the director of the Central Intelligence Agency. Brennan oversees clandestine operations, drone strikes, and black sites across the globe. He is one of the most powerful and feared men on Earth. 3,000 miles away, in a rundown housing estate in the English West Midlands, 15-year-old Kraka stands frozen in a messy, weed smoke-filled bedroom. He looks at his phone, stunned by what he just said to the head of the CIA. The United States government would eventually classify this call as a sophisticated international cyber conspiracy. On the ground, it was the opening move in an unprecedented humiliation of the American security apparatus, orchestrated by a group of bored teenagers. The American half of this operation began in 2008 with a teenager in Virginia known as Default. He discovered digital power while looking for video game cheats, realizing he could force machines to bend to his will. That teenage rebellion soon found a far more dangerous target. In 2013, Edward Snowden, a technical contractor for the NSA, uncovered a secret software infrastructure. It granted the U.S. government the power to intercept and record the private lives of every person using a computer or cell phone. Snowden claimed medical leave for epilepsy to flee the country, eventually landing in Hong Kong. There, he handed over the classified evidence that proved mass government surveillance was a documented reality. These leaks served as a radicalizing force for a generation of young hackers. Default and Kraka didn't want to wait for their privacy to be stripped away. They wanted high-ranking intelligence officials to feel exposed and vulnerable. Default joined an elite hacker cell called a non-sec. They were radical coders wielding digital weapons, specifically a massive botnet. A botnet is an army of thousands, sometimes millions, of computers infected with malware. These machines become subservient to a single master, capable of flooding and crashing government servers with billions of requests in seconds. While browsing through the group's network, Default found his way into the financial system of a Canadian medical school. He found a dashboard displaying the complete debt records of every student on campus. Facing $9.4 million in debt that would haunt these students for decades, Default selected Delete All. He shredded the records and sent them to the digital abyss, ensuring no backup engineer could ever recover them. He later targeted the Danish government, hacking and defacing their official websites to expose the legality of underground animal brothels. The resulting media firestorm forced the Danish parliament to pass a historic law banning the practice in April 2015. These victories fueled a dangerous God complex. Convinced he was a digital Robin Hood, Default began to believe he was an untouchable vigilante operating entirely above the law. Default operated with obsessive security, mounting a directional satellite dish on his window to steal Wi-Fi from a restaurant half a mile away. He kept a fortune of 1,000 bitcoins, worth tens of millions of dollars, on heavily encrypted hard drives. He allied with Kraka to target James Clapper, the Director of National Intelligence. They breached Clapper's email and hijacked his home phone line, rerouting every incoming call to a political hotline. It was a calculated humiliation of the official who had previously lied to Congress about the scale of NSA data collection. They scaled the operation up to hit the CIA director. Kraka realized that John Brennan's mobile account was registered with Verizon, and he deployed a simple social engineering tactic. Kraka called a Verizon tech support line and pretended to be an on-site field technician. He delivered a fabricated employee code with absolute confidence. The representative granted him full access to Brennan's account, which Kraka used to seize the director's AOL email inbox. Inside the inbox, Kraka found Brennan's confidential security clearance application and internal legal frameworks regarding harsh interrogation methods. They handed these unredacted documents to Julian Assange, who published them on WikiLeaks in October 2015. A multi-million-dollar security infrastructure had been bypassed. The director of the CIA was compromised, not by a supercomputer, but by a teenager manipulating a bored customer service representative. The collective continued their rampage, breaching the FBI's deputy director to leak the personal information of 20,000 active agents. They also compromised the federal prisoner tracking system, pulling the classified files of fellow hackers. The eventual downfall came from a single human error. One night, Default was drinking and playing video games online with a friend who secretly harbored a grudge against him over a past relationship. While they were talking, a breaking news report about the CIA hack flashed on Default's television screen. Losing discipline, Default leaned into the microphone. He told his friend in a cocky whisper, "You see that news on TV? Yeah, that was us." The friend immediately reported the confession to the FBI. Despite military-grade encryption and years of careful planning, Default's trajectory was permanently rewritten by a fleeting moment of adolescent hubris. At dawn, an FBI tactical team clad in body armor blew Default's front door violently off its hinges. They stormed his room with assault rifles, tackling him to the floor before he could react. The raid occurred at the exact moment Default's computer finished its daily 30-minute decryption. All his secure files were wide open and readable. A tech specialist instantly extracted a mirror copy of the hard drive. Default watched as agents seized his master hard drive. It contained the private keys to his 1,000 bitcoins. His entire fortune, now worth $40 million, was confiscated by the U.S. government. In the UK, Kraka was sentenced to 2 years in juvenile detention. Default, tried as an adult in the U.S., received a 5-year sentence in maximum security. He spent a massive portion of that time in solitary confinement due to pandemic lockdowns. The attempt to humiliate the government on its own turf cost the teenagers their wealth, their freedom, and their futures. In December 2023, the administration of President Joe Biden officially reauthorized a controversial provision of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. This provision grants intelligence agencies the legal right to monitor the digital data of individuals globally without a judicial warrant. This includes the communications of American citizens. A 2023 judicial audit revealed the FBI misused this warrantless database 278,000 times between 2016 and 2020, spying on political donors and tracking the digital movements of protesters at the January 6th Capitol riots. This same surveillance infrastructure was also deployed against activists within the Black Lives Matter movement. The teenage hackers were imprisoned and their wealth was stripped away, but the surveillance machine they sought to expose remains fully operational. The warrantless database is legally protected and more active than ever. Kraka and Default are now out of prison, building quiet lives away from the internet. Meanwhile, the shadow government systems they targeted have become a permanent legal fixture of the digital world.